Do you feel alone even when you're with your partner? That is something. So in today's video,
Mm.
Sissy and I is going to share some stuff with you. So stay tuned.
Hey, Blissful friends, welcome back to another episode of the Blissology podcast. I am your host, Cece, and I'm joined by my husband. Hey, babe.
Everybody, this is Will, and we're glad to have you today. If this is your first time with us, remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we put these videos out. We want to make sure that you don't miss out on any of these unusual videos we put out. So this is a weekly podcast, and we discuss topics such as
Love, life, family, relationships,
stuff.
loneliness, and whatever else is going on, we're going to talk about it, okay?
She is right.
Here.
We do talk about it.
Well, any kind of stuff we're going to
Well,
talk
not
about it.
all type of stuff. There are things that I will not talk on this podcast. But when it comes to relationship and things that I think helps us be better people, and obviously we share a lot of experience that we've had our own, and also some of the things we've learned over the years from other couples. So
Yes.
hopefully this has been giving you a lot of pointers, and some of you guys have been sharing with us your experience. So we appreciate that. So thank you.
Yes.
And we'll keep bringing more
Great
stuff
value.
to you.
So now let's get into the blissful moment. As you all know, we have our blissful moment that we talk about. I don't know if my husband has one, but
You go
Do you have one?
first. You go first.
blissful moment is just that.
Well, the kids started school this week. that
How is that a blissful moment?
that was unusual.
That was not a blissful moment for me. Okay.
Well, the first day was not, but starting with the second day, it started to get. I was happy to see that the kids were really excited about getting back in class.
Speak for yourself.
And yes, I did give them a talk on what to do to keep them safe. The mask, they have masks that they're really comfortable with, so we ordered a few more. So far, they've been good, but they were excited. I'm talking about, one of them said she couldn't wait for the day to be over so she could be in class the next day. Now, that was the moment for me. On the first day of school, someone had a moment. Well, I don't know if you would want to categorize that as blissful, but someone had a moment.
Well, as you all know, the girls were home with me all year last year and the year prior. So therefore, they stayed home with me for like 24/7, every single day, day and night, breathing in and out. You know, mommy here, mommy there. And of course, it was a little bit emotional for me. And as a matter of fact, we have a vlog that's coming out this weekend, and you guys will see how emotional I was. So please check it out. It was hard for me, okay? It was hard, and the video would explain itself. So yes, I was really emotional, and first day was hard, was tough. Second day was, third day I was like, I'm in the groove of it. It's getting there. Then Friday, it's
like Tuesday never happened.
It's like, it's like, to me, I cried. I really did cry. Like, I really wanted my husband to record at that moment because it was hard for me. And it's like when your kids go to daycare, they babies, they stay with you for so long, and then you drop them off to daycare and they started crying, and you crying, they crying. But in this case, they were happy. I was crying, and I was like, wow. And I spent the whole day home alone, crying. But I just couldn't wait for that 2:00 to go pick them up, and hug them. And it was a moment.
It was a moment. I had a completely different moment. I mean, I try to empathize as much as I can. I know where she's coming from, but I was happy to see the kids happy. Yes, I was happy to see the kids happy. And, the little one on the day that we actually went in to do the meet the teacher, she was already like making her presence known in the room. She was playing on the carpet already. It's a good thing.
Well, yes.
And very few people gets really sad over good things, she's one of them.
I do.
But I
I'm very
understand.
emotional.
I
I'm
understand.
very emotional.
I understand.
I'm very emotional.
And this is where empathizing come into place. I empathize with you. I
Well,
understand
thank
where you're
you.
coming from.
Let's make sure we get that under control next time. So yeah, it was tough the first week, but second week is gonna be like better. I'm pretty sure. So enough about that. I'm sure you guys are want to hear what we're gonna talk about on this topic, right? I hope you enjoyed our blissful moment. Me crying and acting like a like my husband would say, you crazy. But yeah, so now let's get into the topic of the day, which is what, baby?
Do you feel lonely even when you are with your partner?
Do I feel lonely when I'm with you?
Yeah, do you feel lonely when you're with me?
No, not ever. Actually, yes, sometimes I do.
Yeah, sometimes I got to do stuff on my own that you could be where you need to be.
Wow, okay.
We all take time for ourselves, but I don't think that's the loneliness we're talking about.
No,
Right?
it's
There are
not.
moments that I'm here and I want to be left alone so I can concentrate. I don't want someone talking in my ears.
Well, I want to say being lonely is not just an emotional reserve for people who are single. Because when you think of loneliness, you start thinking of, okay, loneliness because you're single, you don't have a man or you don't have a girl, you just like home alone, like I was on Tuesday. you, you, you just like, no, this is not the loneliness we're referring to. I know sometimes that feeling lonely can happen to anyone, whether if you are in a relationship or if you are
Not in a relationship.
yes. Sometimes I feel like when you are in a relationship, right? Let's just talk about that for now. And this is where you can feel there's something's wrong. When you come home and you say, hey, and then you like out the door.
Oh, well, you may be in a hurry.
Well, no.
However, if you come home and you can't wait to leave, that's a problem. Right?
I don't know. Yes.
There may be time where a spouse or a partner may be in a hurry to get to someplace. However, if you look for every excuse not to be home, that's something else.
My thing is, I want to use my parents as an example. I've never seen them where one is here and the other one is on the other side of the house.
I've seen them.
Well, unless
Your mom
if
may
my
be
mom
cooking and your dad is
well,
taking a
that's
nap.
different, baby.
There've been a
That's
different side of-
different. That's just different. First of all, that's not the loneliness I'm talking about. So it's just that there's a lack of want to talk. I'm one of those people that wants to talk. Okay.
And I'm one of those people sometimes I need to give my ears a break.
Okay. And I do give you a break sometimes, don't I?
I appreciate it.
I do give you a break
I know.
sometimes. But I do feel like there's people out there, especially when it comes to the men, right? They just want to be by themselves and they don't see the impact that it causes in the relationship. They don't see the impact that it actually can turn your marriage, your whatever, upside down. Because imagine I'm home, you come home from work and you say, hey, and it says, hey babe, how are you? How was your day?
That was good.
And then you kept moving. You just brief.
Some
Right?
people are like this, and this is
Unless if you feel like this is how you, unless if I know this is how you are.
yes.
If I know like, okay, my husband is very brief on things and he doesn't really talk much, then that's different.
Yeah. And this is where it comes down. It's knowing your partner and understand your partner. So if gradually someone's becoming, distant, the answers are getting shorter and shorter. Something's going on. But if from the get-go that's the type of personality that
Right.
that's how they are, then that's how they are. If you feel lonely, it's not their fault. You chose to be in a relationship with someone who does not talk a lot.
But I do feel like though sometimes they could be going through like their own personal issues, right?
Well, yeah.
Like your partner could be going through something that you don't know about, that you're not aware of. Because let's just say if I'm going through something and I'm like very much to myself, I don't want to share nothing with you. Like you're asking me. But then again, I can't do this with you because you know me so well. you would know that there's something's wrong with me. Because when you know someone so well, you can like automatically know that, hey, she's not right or he's not right, because we know each other for so long and we know each other so well. But if you don't know your partner so well and then you feel like there's an isolation, they're like, okay, I don't want to talk. I just want to be alone. Then this is when you need to, this is when there's like a personal problem with your partner. So yes.
Communication
Oh
is
my God,
important.
yes.
And this is where, I mean, you're just saying how important it is to talk. And that's one of the biggest red flag when it comes to issues in relationship
Mhm.
or signs of loneliness
Yes.
is we don't share a lot. We don't talk a lot. Now, if you're with someone who understands, they will try to pry it out of you. I
Mhm.
mean, if you're with someone that's like, you know what, you don't want to talk, just be with yourself. I'll just be with
There's
myself.
people that are like that. I think there's a lot of people that are like, you know, whatever you want to do, you do you. You know, you don't want to talk, I don't want to talk, but then we're fine.
And some people, if that's what they want and it works for their relationship, that's fine. But I don't see longevity in a relationship like this. How
No.
can you say you love someone when you barely communicate with this person?
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you're in a relationship where communication was always good. I mean, you ask the person, did they service the car, and they start telling you, hey, I went to the dealership, this is what they did, and they kept the conversation going. And that
Yes.
same person, a few months later, you find out that when you ask them, "Did you service the car?" Yeah. Yeah. Where do we go for dinner? I don't want to eat that.
Yeah.
And that's where you start realizing, yeah, some things may be off.
Mhm.
Either they're getting something somewhere else
Uh,
and they just don't want to be in. I mean, there could be a number of things,
Did
but
my dad
something's off.
use that term last Sunday?
Yeah, your dad's got jokes. But
My dad is something else.
So yeah, the communication is usually one of the first things you can start noticing, because that's where it starts. Because this person would look
Red
for any
flag.
excuses as the void between you start getting bigger. You'll find you'll have very little to speak about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think anyone who's in any relationship should pay attention to that. When you can't find things to talk to your spouse about. Now, there are days that some of us just don't want to talk.
Not me.
I know that, but there are days that I just want to get in the office and focus on the things that I want to do and get them out. I got other things on my head.
I do have things on my head too, but I want to talk.
I don't want to hear all of them.
Damn.
But some of us feel this way, and if we understand, you know what, it's okay, then that's not a problem. It's when there's that constant avoidance
I need a friend.
of talking. You can get a friend. I think you have some virtual friends.
I do.
Yeah, so when that person is constantly finding ways to avoid having a conversation, or
Mhm.
it's just not interesting in any way, then that's where the issue starts.
Yeah. This definitely would not have worked for me. Because
They're not talking.
yes, I'm someone who like to know how you feeling, how things are, what's going on, how is work, how's your day. I want to know, and I don't want to brief you. I don't want a brief answer. I want you to conversate with me. I want you to talk to me. And there's guys out there who just like, I'm home, dinner is on the table ready for me to eat. I'm eating dinner. I don't want to talk to you. I'm going to bed. I don't want you to lay next to me, or I'm facing the other way and then you face the other way. I mean, it's just something that will destroy your marriage or your relationship with that person.
Yeah,
I mean, communication to me, I feel like is such an important factor in everything in life, but
it
more
is.
so in marriage, in a relationship. Yes.
Well, as human beings, communication is a very, very important part of our lives. Whether it's with
Yeah.
our kids, our spouse,
The pet.
the people that we work with, the clients that you have.
The pet.
I don't know about talking to a pet.
She listen.
I'm not a pet person, so I wouldn't know that.
Yes, you are.
But in every aspect of our lives,
Yeah.
you can always find there's some key role that communication plays, and it's just as important in relationship. And as you see communication is becoming less and less between two partners in a relationship, that's usually a sign that something's wrong,
Right.
and that usually leads to lack of warmth and concern, in the relationship.
Yep.
Is you always cold around this person.
Right. It's like your vibe is just a turn
Yeah.
off.
You're always cold. I mean,
Yes.
short conversation is never exciting. It's just that. A yes or no conversation, it's never exciting.
Wouldn't work for me.
But that could save me a lot of talking if I start answering everything by yes
Then we're gonna have a problem.
or no.
Then I'll be concerned about what are you doing?
I'll tell you I'm okay.
And I'll say why all of a sudden we're just having like this short, brief, yes or no answer.
Then I'll tell you, go back to your podcast that you did on feeling lonely. but
And
yes.
I'm like, are you lonely, baby? Are you lonely?
And I'll answer that with yes. but it leads to coldness in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously lack of concern, because once you start distancing yourself from this person, not communicating, you'll find you start showing less and less concern about what happened to them.
Yeah.
Because we share
Which
things.
sucks.
We share things with each other that happens to us.
Right.
Imagine I get home and I don't like talking about work at home.
I want to know
In
what
fact,
happened.
I cut work conversation. You ask me how work is. Work is always one way. It's great. If it's not great, know that I'm not going back the next day.
Then I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with you.
But by talking to each other, that's how we can express concern and maybe share some words of advice with a partner.
Yeah.
Imagine I had the worst day at work, and I come home, and this day, obviously, I wanted to speak because I needed someone to talk to.
To vent.
And I come in to kind of share my day with you, and you're like, "Yeah, sorry to hear that. I hope you get a better day tomorrow."
If you get that, I hope you get a better day tomorrow.
Yeah. So when you come with a concern like this, and
but how would that make you feel though?
You don't really care about how my day was.
But there's people that are selfish. There's people that are like that, where they just don't really care about the other person's day.
And like, for instance, if you take me,
Yeah.
I don't get excited over things.
You don't.
Like,
True.
I'm not the type who would get up and jump over things. I won't go, oh my God, this is not me. If you see me, if you ever see me do that one day, know something's off. Because that's just not me.
I've seen you done that. No, I'm just kidding.
No, if you see me do that, I'm putting up an act, which I don't put up act for anything. But if you see me, I'm either putting up an act, but usually something's wrong if you see me doing that. No, not in that sense. But there's the things that I do. So for someone like me, just because I don't get excited over something, that doesn't mean that I don't care about it. And obviously, Cece knows that.
Mm-hmm.
But if your partner was always very excited, very interested in counseling you when you have bad days, or maybe something happens and they show so much interest in it,
like me,
and all of a sudden it's like, yeah,
mm-hmm.
So that's a sign. But it usually starts with communication start losing, and then you find that you're really cold around each other. You don't care if you're good or not. I'm hungry. Oh, I think there was some food.
Left over in the fridge.
I hope you can find some.
And warming up yourself. I hope you can find some. Yeah, that's messed up.
So lack of concern and lack of warmth is one other sign that someone is distancing themselves.
Yeah, but you gotta wonder, like, why? What causes this? Like, why all of a sudden? I know you mentioned it earlier. Could be the person is just like getting it from somewhere else, or they just losing interest, or they just.
Well, there's usually things, and sometimes it's
something. It's not that because you old, because I don't believe in that.
Well,
I don't believe in that.
As we get older, there are things that happen with us, and obviously, some of us, when we get in our later days, we start seeing younger people around us just showing themselves, and you're like, yeah, I'm coming home to this older woman, and
hold up.
But people actually get this way.
Well, people are crazy.
That's part of midlife crisis, I think.
Well, you better not have one, because I'll tie you up.
I'm planning on not to.
Okay, let's keep it that way.
Yeah, I
if you want your life, let's keep it that way.
My path in life, no midlife crisis for me. But there's usually an issue, and sometimes it could be us causing it, because there are things we do that makes the other person feel like they're not valuable. They're not
Yeah.
wanted. They're not part of what you're doing.
Well, I think feeling unwanted is one of the other
One of the things,
signs.
yes,
Yes.
is
Why
you
would
know,
you not feel like you wanted?
well, if you're excluded from everything that's happening, partners doing things, and they showed you obviously they don't want you. They can handle things on their own, and it's good to take charge. However, get your partner, make your partner be part of it. Maybe ask for their opinions, even though you've already know what you want to do, but you kind of run it by them. Make them feel like they part of the thing.
Not I mean, yes. Why would you wait at the last minute day? Just so you know, I just bought this.
Not in that sense. What I meant is, I already know what I'm going to do, but I would, before I do, I would say, listen, I'm thinking, what do you think? And then you tell me what I didn't plan, and then I convince you to see it my way, and then we do it my way. That's what I meant.
No.
But it's good.
But I got you.
It's good to get the other partner involved in
Yes.
what you're doing. So it's include your partner in what you do. Get their opinions on it. Ask them how they feel about it, and listen
Yes.
to what they say, because
Yes.
they may have some good insights.
They do. I feel like sometimes the husband they automatically think that, okay, the wife doesn't really need to approve this. I'm just gonna run it by her, let her know this is what I'm going to do. Right? And like, no. Let's talk about it. I'm one of those wife. Let's talk about it. And then we can plan on it. Don't just go ahead and make the decision and then you let me know afterwards. Then how are you including me in this decision making?
Well, there are things like, I'm a very technical person.
That's
Sissy
different.
wants nothing to do with anything that's
I
technical.
don't.
So in cases like this, I just tell you what I'm going to
That's
do.
okay.
Because going over the specs with her,
I don't want to know that.
she wants nothing to do with it.
No.
It's like she's not into cars. If I'm doing something with the car, I just let her know, hey, this is this. Not that, hey, tell me what you think. Because that's not her stuff. Things like this, yes. But there are decisions. Say, for instance, you're about to add a room to your house.
Or you about to build another home. If you're building a
or
home.
you're about to have another kid.
Yes.
Well,
or buying a car.
You'll be involved in having the other kid, so you kind of have to know.
Well, with someone else.
No, that doesn't happen.
If you are buying a car, right?
Well, if it's a surprise car, it doesn't make sense to let you know.
No. If it's a surprise car to me, then yes. Don't tell me.
That's
Because
what
you know
I'm
I'm not
saying.
surprised.
You
But
don't need to
if it's where like all of a sudden you wake up one day, you see a car outside, you're like, okay, babe, who's this car for? I know it's not mine, and I hope it's not yours. And you're like, oh yeah, I decided to stop by the Audi.
Sometimes there are deals that are so great
Audi
you don't have time to get a second
dealership,
opinion.
and I got a brand new car. Did we discuss this? I'm one of those people. I don't mind you make your own choices, but I just want to be included. How about we talk about it, right? Because when we married, or when you're with someone dating that person, it's good to let them be a part of your decision.
If I'm buying the car based on the engine size and how many horsepower it has, I don't think you want to know any of that stuff. But that's me only kidding.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't care about the parts. I care about the expense. Let's talk about the expense. Like, what I just don't like when the husband. It's most of the husband. I don't think it's the wife as much. It's more so the husband will do a lot of expenses, and they just go and do things just because they feel like they are empowered to do so, and the wife is just like, oh, okay. Like I was telling my mom over the weekend, I was like, Mom, you need to know. Not that my dad doesn't show her what's going on, but I like when our mothers, right? They're like in the 50s, 60s. They know what's going on. They're aware of the accounts. They're aware of everything. They feel like they included as part of the decision making.
As we get older, this is where it's so important to be part of it. God forbid something happened to one of the spouse or one of the partners. You don't want to leave the other one not knowing a thing of what's happening with the household.
Mm-mm.
It's unfortunate, but I've run into cases where something happened to one partner or a spouse, and the other one's like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God,
What do I do now?
what do I do now?"
Yes. And it is lack of communication
Yep.
because the husband feel like I know it all. I don't need to share anything
Don't
with
keep putting
you.
things on the husband. Sometimes wife does the same
I just
thing.
want to, you know, I'll just tell you, but it's already done. No, no.
It's not all about
Make me
the.
feel that I'm wanted. Maybe make me feel part of the relationship. Okay. Don't make it seem like as if you're the only one in charge.
Good thing I'm the only one in charge here.
Good thing we don't have that problem here. I'm so glad. And another thing I would say is lack of physical intimacy. Like we talk about intimacy the whole month of July. When it comes to, sign of loneliness, is definitely lack of intimacy.
The partners are not getting together often enough,
Or they're just not
or
satisfied.
just don't get together at all.
And that could drive the partner to what my dad said over the weekend.
He goes to eat somewhere else.
Yes.
But yes,
But yes.
lack of intimacy is
Lack of physical intimacy,
physical intimacy.
to be precise.
Yeah, and that sometimes could be the root cause of all these other things. Because if you're not getting intimate with your partner, there's a lot of other things that you can't do with them, including talking to them.
Yeah. Sometimes I would tell my husband, I don't want, when we in bed getting ready to go to sleep, I just want to have a. Why smiling, baby? Go ahead, say it. Go ahead and say it. I can't.
It's a nice stuff. I gotta smile.
I just want to have.
A man can't be happy.
Listen, guys, I love talking. Okay, I just feel like it gets us closer. I'm one of those people that just want to chat with my husband. Like before we go to bed, we in bed, and I like to.
I usually last 2 minutes.
I usually just have like a last minute of talk. Hey, so what do you think we should do tomorrow? Not that we didn't have like a long talk about it before of us getting to bed. I just want to just like put my head on his shoulder and chat for a little bit, and then we both fell asleep.
I usually go out first. 'Cause
Most of the times, true. He's out. I'm like, babe. And I'm like, well, okay, then let's go to sleep. Might as well just turn off the light and go to sleep.
how much talking can you do? Right? If we've talked about something for a full hour.
Well, it could have been the time when I was talking to you. It didn't come to me. But then when we
Save
were
it for
laying in
tomorrow
bed.
morning. Save it.
I may not remember tomorrow.
Write it down.
So-
Notepad by the bed. By your bedside, always have notepad and a pen.
I
Just
I
write it
have
down.
tons of them. But yes, I am one of those people that I just don't wanna. It doesn't have to be, intimacy. I just want to have that us laying in bed and talking about anything. Actually, just chatting about anything until I fall asleep or until he falls asleep.
My bed is not a chat place. I understand the whole concept, have last conversation, and I tried to. But I'm the type, if I'm laying down,
You are.
my body knows that he's laying down, and the sole purpose of him laying down is because he's getting ready to go to bed or to sleep.
More like to sleep.
Yes,
'Cause
he's
you
getting
in
ready to
bed.
go to sleep. I'm like already getting this. So
One thing I don't get though, you like fall asleep in 1 minute, and the next thing you know, you like snoring. How
yes,
could somebody fall asleep in one? Like, I just don't get it. Because sometimes you gotta be deep asleep, and then you start hearing the person snore. If you like marry someone like me who snores a lot. Sorry, baby, I'm putting your stuff out there.
Oh.
But he's not ashamed of it. He knows that that's how it is. It is what it is. And that's my man. And I'm gonna stick to him. I'm gonna stick by him. So yeah.
Oh, here's another thing that causes issues. Social media.
Uh-huh.
I think many people don't really spend too much time on social media because sometimes you see a couple just dining.
Yeah.
Each one is on their phone. It's not like they maybe sending one last message to their parents, or maybe something important. The plumbers at the house, there's a leak and they have to come. No, I'm checking to see what my friends are doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes just seeing what the friends are doing or some random people's doing in social media can become issues in their relationship. They
Mm-hmm.
could be in the nicest place having the nicest dinner. And then there goes someone flashed a flashy ring that they
Yep.
just got on
Yep.
social media. And you start looking at your
Yep.
partner. Shouldn't I like to get something like that too? Or you see so and so in a crazy vacation somewhere, and they're sharing how nice and peaceful and great it is. You
Yeah.
forget about the so romantic dinner that you're having. You're so focused on what your friend is doing,
Right.
and you start thinking, when was the last time you took me on a vacation
I
like
say
this?
that sometimes.
I know you said that, and where do you think I'm bringing this up?
Oh, okay.
I really,
But sometimes I am joking, right?
yes, I mean, we can
Okay.
laugh about this because we do have our moments, and we spend. I mean, I can care less about what people do on social media, but some people take these things very
They
seriously,
do.
and the more you compare yourself to others, sometimes the more apart you grow from each
Mm-hmm.
other,
Yeah.
because not everyone is at the same stage, and some people that sometimes are flashing stuff, and they don't have it to flash. They just wants to make sure they flash it so they can show
True.
to others what they do.
True.
So me, it's good for me that you do that, because when I need to market something to you, then Facebook will understand what your preferences are and they can help me find you. So hey, listen, the more of your interests you share on those social media, the better it is for me as a marketer, because that helped me pinpoint what's important to you. And if I have something that I want to show to you, I can target you. That's it. But going back to relationship and loneliness, these things
Mm-hmm.
can get in the way.
But I truly feel like, though, there's a lot of people on social media, especially Facebook. Well, yeah, Facebook is like the book for a lot of people that just go and
Check to
cop.
see what other people are doing.
Yeah, like they could see someone wearing a ring and they're like, oh, she got a big rock, and it could be fake. You never know. Or they're trying to keep up with the Kardashians. Act like they and that sometimes can really destroy your marriage when your husband don't have it like that, and you putting pressure on him or on her. Yeah, vice versa, or her, and
And you stop giving him stuff and you start putting yourself away and says, if you don't give me this, you don't get this. And then he goes and
yeah,
find that somewhere
yeah.
else. And before you know it, the relationship is gone.
It is gone. And before you know it, you stop talking to him or you stop talking to your spouse, and you just want to it's like, if he can't provide this, then we're not talking. If I can't get this, if I can't get what she has or what he has, then we not in good terms. Because a lot of people are basically copying on someone else, or comparing their life with. I definitely agree. Social media is a really big problem if you really are on there all day 24/7, and you're like comparing, oh, they just had a nice romantic moment, or they just went to Cancun. Why can we go there? Or you never take me to Cancun. Luckily for me, I've been to Mexico on a honeymoon, right?
I think, did we?
We
Yes, I
did.
think we did. So obviously we talked about a bunch of things that are signs of one's getting lonely and things are not quite working. But how do you bring yourself out of that if you realize that you're going down that road in your relationship, you're getting distance from your partner? How do you? And I know we spoke a lot about communication, and it starts with that as well. So how do you find ways to start communicating with your partner more and more? And I think it's creating time for you guys to spend together, because
Mhm.
put yourself in a position where you allow yourself to start building that relationship back up in terms of
Mhm.
sharing things with each other. So
Yeah.
I know couples sometimes, especially if there's kids in the relationship, you find yourself spending no time together, and every time is consumed by the kids. But find time to take your partner out, go on a walk where you can spend time together.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll find that you'll learn that something's going on with the other partner by allowing yourself to be in a position where you can share, where you can more talk to each other and share the emotions.
Mhm.
And but both partner have to be willing to be in a place where they're vulnerable at opening up to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have to be non-judgmental as well,
Mm-hmm.
where you're not passing judgment on the first thing you hear and start giving them reason as to why they're so bad, but try to understand where they're coming from
Right.
and have a meaningful conversation, a supportive conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and not just do it once, but making an ongoing thing. I think that's one way to kind of bring this conversation, communication between partners, back in place, and that
Absolutely.
would lead to the other things. Now, if it's something you can't do on your own, seek help.
Mm-hmm.
There's counselors out there that does these things. Now, when it gets to this point, by all means, some people, especially in our community, they don't believe in seeing counselors, but that's important.
Mm-hmm.
And counselors can help us, figure things out, because there's problems that may arise that we don't possess the skill to fix it. When you get someone who specializes in relationship, can help us see ways to make things work.
Yes, I definitely agree with you. I think seek professional help is definitely something that a lot of us, I mean, not a lot of us, that if you really need that, you really have to swallow
Your pride.
your pride and do it. And I would also say that reach out to friends and family. Like reach out to family members first. And if you feel like you're not getting anything from them, and if you have a friend that you can really trust to talk about this thing, just talk to a friend, talk to a family member, and let them know, hey, I need help. I'm going through this, and I hope you can help.
And you're right by saying a friend that you can trust, because not everything's a good things to discuss with friends,
No,
and even family. Not everything's a good things to discuss with family.
talk to the Lord, call on to God.
Yeah. So
Yes, I would say talk to God before you seek professional help.
yeah, I agree.
Yes, 'cause God always provide a solution. So yes, and I like to meditate. I don't know about I like my meditation. I like to do when I'm stressed or when I have a whole lot going on in here. I like to meditate. Meditation can also be another great thing. There's some people that do yoga. Yoga really help with stress. It released everything. So I like to meditate when I'm like feeling overwhelmed or when I'm stressed. Especially in this case, if you feel like, man, I really need something, meditation will definitely help you. Just clear out your mind and just trying to come up with a solution and see what can you do in this situation. What can you what can you do basically? Yeah.
Yeah, she meditates.
I
I
do.
don't.
You fall asleep.
I don't. But meditation helps us relieve stress, and many of
Yes.
these things they come out of stress. So if you like me, you don't meditate, find something you do. Like I like to do things outdoors. I like to do little projects. If I go wash the cars for 2 hours.
But how is that clear out your mind?
Oh, you don't know.
Oh,
You
okay.
know,
I
when
don't know.
when
You're right.
there are things, activities that you say. For instance, when you're meditating, you sit there and you kind of let
The
everything out and relax.
music and relax.
I get out there and I'm cleaning the car. That's all I think about is the bucket and the sponge. And that gives me anything that may have worried me, it's
Hmm.
out. All I think about is the bucket and the sponge and how clean I'm going to make this car. Now we all have little things that we do.
Right.
Me is project. I get into something right now. I'm in it. I could have had the worst time.
Yeah, sure.
I can laser focus on what I'm doing, and everything else that was going on is out.
Yep. Yep. You're right.
Because some people they work out, some people
Yeah.
they have punching bags, something that can take their
the
mind
stress
off of
out.
what's going on, and we all need that.
Yeah.
Because imagine if you're feeling stress and you go sit down there and you're all tense and so forth. You keep thinking of how bad thing has been and how do I fix this and so forth.
Hmm.
You stress yourself out even more. That's how we
Yeah.
die young.
That's it.
I don't
True.
intend to die young.
No, I don't mean either. And I know some people would like to go for a walk,
Yeah.
go by the beach, or meditate by the water, which, oh my God, that's one of my favorite. Meditate by the water.
So manage your stress
Oh, please.
however you can. Yeah.
But you can always use these great tips that we'll just share with you if you don't have one. Go by the beach. It's going to help. Let the Holy Spirit take all your worries away.
And find reason to smile
Again,
more.
life is short, Don't be miserable in a relationship that you feel like it's draining you out, bring out anything out of you. Life is short. If you can find a way to bring all this negative and turn them into positive, how about one of you reach out? Yes, it may be tough. It may be hard for you to say, hey, babe, we need to talk, right? Most of the time you would find that the other partner is going to say, okay, let's sit down and talk about this. Let's see how we can resolve this. Let's communicate. Let's seek professional help. Let's talk to God. Let's try this and try yoga, meditation, clean the car. Let's see how we can improve our marriage or our relationship if you guys are not married. Because if you're really in it, you'll find a way to make it work.
Yep.
But if you feel like, man, I give this all of me, and I'm still drained, I don't want to be part of this anymore, then it's time for you to
save yourself some aggravation
and move on and enjoy your life.
Don't die early.
No. I mean, we don't recommend anything that's we're not professional in this field. We actually just sharing our thoughts, our experiences. But I truly feel that, if you've been with someone for such a long time and you guys love each other and there's like you invested in that person, it's always good to
find ways. And if you're truly looking to find that way, you will find it.
Yes.
On that note, we thank you for listening to our podcast today. I'm hoping that we've shared enough with you that can maybe help you detect if something's going on with your relationship, but also give you some pointers as to how you can make sure that you get back to the good time. So again, thank you. We appreciate you. If this is your first time with us, remember to subscribe.
Like the video.
Click on the notification bell so you can be notified.
Share with your friends and your family.
Share with your friends and your family members. And don't forget to listen to us or check us out on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn Radio.
Yes. Here on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So thank you. We appreciate you. And for those of you who's been with us since the beginning
of time,
we really appreciate your support.
Yes. Thank you.
So thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We thank you. And we will see you next Saturday.
Bye.
Peace.